Hello. Welcome back to Outlandish Claims, everyone. As you can tell from our backgrounds, we're ready to talk some basketball. I, of course, have the great Tracy McGrady as my background. Only player growing up that I absolutely loved, aside from Paul Pierce. Mr. Edwards, It's your boy, Mike Edwards, has his favorite player as his background. Mr. Mello, Carmelo Anthony, is mellow just like his vibes whenever he's after work. And
Wait, I got this.
Millz, who's your background player?
And I have the guy who we all called a ball hog, who we all said he should pass more. We said he should, stop taking so many threes. And sure enough, we were wrong because somehow he ended up playing in the Garden, and this man is right here. So it's your boy, Mr. Mike Edwards.
Well, there's only one real thing going on right now, and that's the free agency and signings and trades and my, oh my. I mean, you know where we're going here. So, Mr. Edwards, Mr. Millz, take us away. Feel free to discuss. I'm keeping my mouth shut. This is a two-person conversation, so I'm just going to stay over here and shut up.
Well, I mean, how could you talk about the NBA this week and not talk about the draft first and foremost, right? I mean, what an action-packed draft. You saw Cade Cunningham expectedly go number one, and Detroit looks like they're going to have their first franchise cornerstone point guard since Chauncey Billups, right? And obviously, given their point guard history, the Dave Bings, the Isaiah Thomases, the Chauncey Billups of the world, looks like they've got a great prospect on their hands. You've got Houston replacing their franchise player, James Harden, with Jalen Green. And so we're going to see how that combination of both him and that young boy, Kevin Porter, works out. You got Mills's team, who picked up a stud in Evan Mobley. I think that he has the chance to be a prime superstar center in this league. Major props to that brother. Led his team to the Elite Eight in his freshman year out of USC. Not known as a basketball school, might I add. Then you got my New York Knicks, who basically hopped all around. Trading draft picks, and then ultimately nabbing Quentin Grimes out of Houston, who is a shooter. So a lot of good things happening there across the board. Happy for those young brothers. But at the end of the day, the biggest news is obvious. Russell Westbrook, right? Russell Westbrook forming a big three with LeBron James and Anthony Davis as a result of that trade from the Wizards. The Wizards go back into, I guess, whatever rebuilding around Bradley Beal they claim to be. I don't know, building bricks, that's what they building. But anyways, or building houses rather. But then on the other side of that trade, you obviously have the Lakers, and that is as good of a three as anybody can put together outside of maybe Brooklyn. So a lot has happened. I think that admittedly, you're seeing that people have already forgotten that the Bucks are the defending world champions. But that's to be expected given all the movement that's been happening.
Yeah, so Mike alluded to it. I actually was going to mention Evan Mobley. I was surprised he fell to them, to be honest. Obviously, I think everybody knew that Cunningham was going to go 1, maybe 2 if Mobley went 1. But I did not expect the Cavs to have Mobley fall in their lap. Now it makes them rethink. Do they trade Colin Sexton? Or do you keep him around for another 2 years and see how Mobley develops? Can you get the role players? And this is what I was talking about, right? This is exactly what I was talking about a couple weeks ago. How the Cavs have the opportunity now. Do you even trade Kevin Love? Do you have him show like, all right, Mobley, like, yo, this is how you play a post game in the NBA? So it could be an interesting year for the Cavs in growth, at least. I don't see them going absolutely anywhere. But who's to say 2 years from now? Who knows? So I think that's pretty cool. I actually like that the Knicks kind of moved around a lot of pieces. And let's not forget, they have money to spend this offseason too. So, again, man, here I am praising the Knicks. And this is like second time in the last 3 months, and I'm just baffled by that. But we all know what happens when I praise the Knicks. They're going to go off and do something stupid. So I say that with my fingers crossed, and I say that with, well, I don't care what the Knicks do. I'm not a Knicks fan. I don't really care. But at the same time, it's nice to have the Knicks in the conversation of New York basketball because we know that the Brooklyn Nets are the heavy favorites to come out of the East again next year. That's a big thing. One thing I just broke about an hour ago, Bobby Portis is reportedly opting out of his contract with the Bucks. So watch that. Nice little piece. Any team that picks him up, East or West, no matter where he goes, he's gonna feel he's gonna do what he's got to do.
He's gonna get paid too.
Yeah. So, and it's gonna be a good contract. 26 years old, man's just entering his prime. So I think that's something to watch out for this week. I say by Thursday he's signed.
Well, since you're saying he's going to sign by Thursday, let's just jump right into the only other question there is to have. Outlandish claim signings and trades. Let's hear them.
Wow.
This ain't no, as Mike says, this ain't no regular picks. This outlandish claims. I want to hear some outlandish claims, and then I want to hear some outlandish claims that's going to make Gio want to smack you.
You know something? I'm going to say the Clippers get Kyle Lowry. I'm going to say the Clippers get Kyle Lowry, and though I don't think it happens, I think the Knicks make a realistic offer for Damian Lillard. I think the Knicks make an offer. I think you're talking multiple draft picks among the ones that they've just picked up. I think you're at least talking R.J. Barrett, right? Any deal has to be centered around R.J. Barrett. I don't think that the Blazers are interested in Julius Randle, not because of how good he is or isn't, but just, again, when you're talking about rebuilding, you're talking about resetting the clock. And Julius Randle is going to be approaching 27 years old. The idea would be to pair Julius Randle and Damian Lillard. But for me, Kyle Lowry to the Clippers makes all too much sense right now. The Clippers got to do something because in that division with the Lakers, the way that they've stacked up those pieces, assuming the Suns are going to re-sign Chris Paul, and Klay Thompson is coming back for Golden State. Woo, watch out.
So I'm looking at this is an impressive class this year, I think, to free agents. This is a deep one. Like the top 10 free agents are almost can't miss on anybody who signs. Like I'm looking like DeMar DeRozan is available, right? Like even he's available. And he's a guy that I think, or I remember in the past, like him talking about wanting to play for the Lakers. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes veterans minimum to go play with LeBron, Anthony Davis, and now Russell Westbrook. I would not be surprised because he's wanted to play for the Lakers.
And
potentially he's made that known. So I wouldn't be surprised if he takes that. I think Kawhi Leonard leaves the Clippers. He ain't coming back. They haven't gone anywhere. It just hasn't worked out as well as he had hoped. The Lakers have won a championship before the Clippers did. Not a good look for the town, the city in general. If you're a reigning champ and then you sign with that team. So I would say Kawhi Leonard, I think, will go to Miami Heat.
Wow. Fresh off of Western Conference Finals, you think he goes to the Miami Heat?
Yes. Yes, I do. Weaker conference. Can get through it easier. Immediately puts them in the discussion for the conference finals, I think. I mean, look, Jimmy Butler and Kawhi Leonard. And then if you remember that potential trade that I said the Cavs could do, sending Kevin Love down there. I don't know, man. That could be an interesting three. It could be an interesting three. It's an older three than you probably would want. But, man, you get three amazing talents in that arena. Man, Miami Heat would be an immediate conversation. I put them over the 76ers, to be honest. Right behind the Nets.
Yeah, I mean, easily. Kevin Love isn't even the third of that big three. Bam Adebayo's down there.
Exactly.
Well, you heard the outlandishness here, guys. We'll be back tomorrow with a new host because it's hockey. So you know who's going to be hosting. We'll see you then.